What up, everybody? This your boy Theo Pinson here. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss any Run Your Race content. What up, everybody? This your boy Theo Pinson with another very special pod of Run Your Race with my boy AJ Richardson, who is not here again. He is getting fined. He knows it. It's okay. But people, I'm just telling you right now, I don't know if you can see it in the back, but we're in a very special place right now. We are back in Chapel Hill in the University of North Carolina, and we have a very special guest here today. We have the leading scorer in North Carolina history with us today. There's not much more that needs to be said other than that. People, we got Tyler Hansbrough.
Hey, man, glad to be on your podcast. It's a beautiful day.
It is.
At UNC, there's no better place. You know, they got late night tonight, but yeah, man, I'm excited. Glad to be on your pod.
Listen, bro, I'm honored. I appreciate you coming on. The amount of summer battles we have had playing basketball and pickup. We're going to get into all that. I mean, you have had arguably the most successful, most renowned college careers ever. And it's something that people don't take for granted, especially around here. Yeah. I think it's something that definitely needs to be talked about, and we're gonna get into all of that. But first, here on Run Your Race, first I want to address everybody, all the fans, all our supporters. We appreciate all of that, all the love y'all have been giving us. It has been unbelievable. We are continuing to grow and getting better day by day, and I just can't thank y'all enough. But what we do here, you know, we just talk from the beginning to the league and to wherever you are now. And we like to start from the beginning because as you know, everybody's race is different. Everybody's path to where they want to get to is different. And I want to give everybody the platform to show you can get to where you want to be and not have all the glitz and glamour. You can get there out the mud and stuff like that. So it's good to see it from different perspectives. And we've done a good job of that with the guests we've had. So, and I think you're going to be even better with every guest we've had. Just, it's going to be good. Yeah. So let's get right into it. T. Hans, where you from? When did you start playing basketball, and how this thing come or go?
Well, I started out in Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Okay.
Wasn't born there. Columbia, Missouri was official birthplace. But then I moved shortly after to Poplar Bluff, Missouri, southeast Missouri, small town, about 2.5 hours from the closest airport. Mm-hmm. So kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But I'm from a hardworking small town community. And I wish I had a really, really sad story, but no, there's nothing special. Started working, but where did it all start? I started going to the gym with my dad. Him and a bunch of buddies used to play pickup basketball early in the morning. And so I would go and watch them. And I guess that's where I kind of wanted always to play basketball. Mm-hmm. Just watching him and a bunch of his friends play. And then I think it all started, it might have been like second or third grade. Mm-hmm. They needed another player to play basketball. Didn't have 10 to play pickup basketball. Okay. So I jumped in, started loving the game there. I mean, instantly. I love basketball from the get. And so that's where, you know, I started playing on the playground. And then I started trying to work on my game, develop so I could be one of the better players, and I like to compete. Mm. And so been working ever since then. And then, that's how I grew to love the game. But growing up, I played actually every sport. I played soccer. I ran track. My dad was a track athlete. Went to University of Missouri, Big 12, high jump champ.
Wow.
So he worked with me a lot. And luckily, I played with both of my brothers. I played with my older brother my freshman year. And then after that, my younger brother through high school. Had a lot of good games, enjoyed playing with them. Went on to win 2 state championships. Carolina started recruiting me probably around my sophomore year. Mm. And I remember actually when they first started recruiting me, it was.
Let me ask you this first before you get there. Was there anything that not persuade, but What would you say? Was there anything that turned your head to like, okay, I'm gonna just focus on basketball?
Actually, probably my love for the game. I stopped playing other sports my ninth grade year,
Okay.
and I played like 1 year of football, and wasn't really my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I was really, really skinny. I was like 6'7", 180 my freshman year in high school. I was super skinny.
You were 6'7"?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I was a big body.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Damn.
Grew 2 more inches. Wish it would have been a little bit more. But
that's a fact. I feel you on that.
No, I mean, my high school coach is very, disciplined and blue collar guy, especially our assistant. And so honestly, the way they ran things in high school, there wasn't much of an opportunity to play other sports. Just to be honest with you, we had practice at 5:35 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah, tell me about it.
What the hell?
And so after a little while, you get in that routine.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm from a small town, so it's not like we're staying up for what? I mean, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
There's not a lot to do
for sure.
And so we got in that routine, and that's kind of like how it all started, where a lot of discipline happened. And so I thought it was really good for our team, and so that's kind of where got my work ethic.
For sure. I mean, you've always been. Everyone knows you're a hard playing guy. That was. Would you say that was instilled from your high school days, starting then, or just like the way you've grown up?
Everyone says I play hard, but I look at a lot of people play hard.
Yeah.
And I think it comes from being competitive. And
I agree with that.
I grew up playing, and it's kind of the only way I know how to play.
For sure.
And so I wasn't spending a lot of time in the gym, just to be honest with you, like doing trick shots or stuff like that. When I walked in the gym, I was trying to get something accomplished, get some work in.
Be productive.
Yeah. And so that's just how I always approached it.
I feel you in that. I definitely feel you in that. I think it's one of those things where you are definitely one of the most competitive guys I've ever played with or seen play, just for the aspect. You just want to win, and you're just going to do whatever it takes to win. And whatever that means, you're going to do it. And I mean, we're going to get into it, but a perfect example is that one game you had against, was it Virginia Tech? Or no, Florida State, when Ty hit that game winner. And you didn't play that well, but you were the happiest guy on the court.
Absolutely.
But, to get back to high school, did you play AAU?
I did. I played with the St. Louis Eagles.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. I think they changed. I think they're Bradley Bill's
Brad
team
Bill
now.
Elite now. Yeah.
I think that's what they go by now. But I played a lot of AAU, not like they do now. I picked my tournaments.
Okay.
So I did enjoy AAU, but I feel for some of these kids now, because it seems like they play about 8 games in a day.
It's crazy.
And just the actual thought of playing 8 games in a day now, could you imagine?
Oh my God.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
The recovery process would be unbelievable.
What is recovery at that point?
I mean,
like you going, and then you eat like shit when you're that young. So it's crazy. But so you're in high school, you're playing with St. Louis Eagles. You go into high school and you're sitting there, you figure out, okay, I'm really good at this. And you start getting recruited at what time? Sophomore year?
Sophomore year by UNC, but I was getting recruited pretty heavily
early
from Missouri. Quinn Snyder was actually there. The program got into a little bit of trouble. I grew up a huge Missouri Tiger fan. And then when they got in some trouble, it opened the door for a lot of other schools. Kentucky was in the mix. Florida was in the mix. And ultimately, I chose North Carolina because of Joe Holliday and Coach Williams. I had a really good relationship with them. And a lot of people, anybody who knows Coach Holliday, I would say he's probably one of the best recruiters ever in college basketball.
Really?
If you look at a lot of the recruits that, even from Kansas and UNC, he was one guy that I had a real good connection with. And I think he could connect with anybody. I mean, he could walk in to LA and go sit down, have a conversation with Paul Pierce and his family, then come over to Southeast Missouri, have a conversation with my family. And, he just had the ability to get along with a lot of people, and I really got along with him. And I grew my relationship with Coach Williams. I really liked their honesty and kind of how they ran things.
Yeah.
You know how organized Coach Williams is.
By the book.
I really liked his practice plans, and so I liked what they did, and so I came here, and obviously it was a very good decision for me.
For sure. So going through your recruiting process, you got all the big schools are looking at you. You, like you said, Coach Holliday, Coach Williams. For me personally, I talked to Coach Williams more than I did because I got recruited by CB McGrath, who did a great job too. You know, CB, love him, legend. But I talk to Coach Williams all the time, and my relationship with him was just, it was very genuine. It it didn't feel forced at all. Would you say that was the same for you?
It had a big impact, honesty. And I felt like everything he was saying was very honest. And also, he didn't commit to anything, said I'd have to earn my playing time, wasn't going to guarantee me a starting spot. So all that kind of resonated with me. And I was like, you know what? This coach is telling the truth. And I like that. He developed a great relationship with my parents. So my parents felt really good about it. And so, came here.
For sure. Were you, if none of that allegation stuff happened at Missouri, you would have went there?
Probably not. Kentucky was my number 2, but a lot of people don't know I almost went to Florida.
Really?
But then Billy Donovan was there at the time, and kind of had a change of heart. It was my first official visit was to Florida, and that official visit was absolutely amazing. And I left Gainesville saying I'm going there.
Yeah.
And what they showed me, the nightlife at the campus was absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'd never experienced anything like that. Poplar Bluff didn't have that nightlife.
Understandable. Understandable. Hey, listen, that'll do it.
I was like, I'm a Gator.
Yeah.
But
I'm a Gator.
but I had a change of heart and came to UNC. So.
For sure. Did the official visit change your heart or just coaches?
Coaches.
Yeah. Smart man. Hey, listen, it all worked out. It all worked out for you, so I can't really fault you for that one. So, T-Hans, listen, we've been through the same regimen with Coach Williams. You get to Carolina. What was your welcome to college moment?
Let's see here. The conditioning test, 1233s. That's unlike anything you've ever experienced.
God.
And the thing that makes me mad now is I don't think the kids do the conditioning test because the schedule has really changed.
It's so hard now.
And every year I want to know, hey, how'd the test do? I always talk to Jonas, and I'm always like, who fell out? Who didn't make the test? Who's got to rerun it again?
Yes.
And I love hearing those stories, but it had to be the conditioning test. I tell you, anybody who's played for Coach Williams and it's gone through that conditioning test, I don't think there's any other school or program that has a test that is that difficult. I think anybody who's done the 1233s and has been in that type of shape has the ability to, go to a lot of different places and their conditioning test just was never the same. And I think that's, it's hard to describe, but the conditioning test at UNC is a beast.
I would say this. I don't think I've ever been in as good a shape as I was when I was here.
Absolutely. I couldn't imagine running
And
that.
to think about, I mean, let's just be honest. We still went out. We still did drank and shit like that. But the thing is, I still was in the best shape I have ever been in my life. Like the fact that I was able to do it. And it was, I would say for me, I'll tell people this all the time. Every team hangs with us in the first half, but you can't mess with us in the second half.
Yeah.
Because we're just in that much better shape than you. We're going to play at our pace all game long, and you can do nothing with us.
Everybody wants to run until they have to run. I always say that.
That's a fact.
And that's always been the thing. But, I mean, I've never been in that type of shape since I've left.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. The 12, mine was a 12-minute run. I hated that.
12-minute run was just it was all psychological.
Yeah.
Because you had no conditioning up to the point. You just had to slow and steady.
Slow and steady. Hey, listen, the 12-minute run, people, let me just put this in perspective for you. You have all our summer, first day of school, when school starts, 12-minute run. That's your welcome to Carolina moment. And you sit there, what's up, coach? You good? Good to see you. But oh my gosh, that was a killer for me. That was a killer for me. So you're coming in. You come in with who? Who was in your recruiting class?
Bobby Frazier, Marcus Ginyard, Danny Green, and Mike Copeland.
Man. So, and then you come in year 2000.
I came in 2005 and 2006. So they had just won the national championship. It was Sean May, Marvin Williams, Ray Felton, McCants, that group. They just won, and then I came in the year after. And so I was actually really lucky because when I actually chose UNC,
Yep.
you know, I was expecting to come here, kind of knew Marv was going to be gone. You know,
Yep.
you look at all the draft boards, 1, 2, the lowest you ever saw Marv was probably 3. So there's a good chance he's probably going to be gone. Big May, we didn't – I thought maybe I'd be backing up Big May.
Oh,
but
really?
then when they won the national championship –
he was gone.
Yeah, he was gone. And so that opened up the center spot for me. And from day one, I was kind of thrown in there and tried to make the most of it.
Talk about – because I also did it too, not even realizing it really, but talk about but you came in as a freshman, which is, I can't even imagine that, off a national championship year. What is that? What was that feeling for that recruiting class coming in after that?
Well, everybody had left, so no one expected us to do anything.
New start.
And and so that was one of the toughest teams I played on. We had Wes Miller, who was super competitive, and obviously Frazier, super competitive, had a great freshman year. Marcus was very competitive, lockdown defender, and obviously Danny Green. But we got thrown into the mix right away, and so there wasn't a lot of outside expectations, to be honest with you. And we had a good leader in David Noel, and we believed in ourselves. And I think the media actually didn't even pick us to make the tournament. And we weren't highly ranked, but we were a tough team, won a lot of games, had a great year. Obviously, the thing that kind of stands out in my mind is when we went into Cameron and beat JJ and Sheldon on their senior night in Cameron. That was a big one, the highlight of the year.
Clip.
And but that was the year we lost to George Mason when they went on that long run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. What would you say was like the moment you realized, okay, I can really play at this level and at a high level and just like set the standard? Was it a game? Was there a moment?
Yeah, my junior year in high school, I felt like I could compete with anybody. And that was that might be overconfident.
No,
but
I love it.
Anytime I stepped on the court, I feel like I could compete in any way, like whether it's, I'm going to be physical, I'm going to get rebounds, play defense, whatever. I felt like I started getting really confident my junior year, but also, my confidence came from my work. I put a lot of work in to earn the confidence. And so, that's kind of where I got it. But I would say my junior year in high school.
Okay. Junior year in high school. So your freshman year, lose to George Mason. It's been a good year. Not much expectation. Would you say that kind of helped you guys a little bit as far as like just going into it? Like, listen, we got to prove all these people wrong. I'm like done with the disrespect going in with that we had.
My sophomore year, so we actually had, that's when Ty, Wayne.
Oh yeah, y'all had the reinforcements come in.
Yeah, so
that's when you took off.
We're reloading for the sophomore year, and there's a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
So we had a pretty good team that year, and so we used it to kind of fuel us, but I actually think that kind of had a negative impact because we're listening to the kind of the outside media.
Yeah.
And I think some other people on the team might have been doing the same thing. But for me personally, when I stopped listening to everyone outside the locker room, that's when things really started getting better for the team.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. And it's crazy at that age. It's hard.
Oh yeah.
It's hard because you're like, damn, they're talking about me. They're talking about us. Like, we're supposed to be this. Let's show them that we are that. And then when you take all that aside and not listen to it, you end up just playing better. And that's tough. How'd y'all do that year, your sophomore year?
So my sophomore year, we made it to Elite Eight. And we had kind of an historic meltdown, to be honest with you. We had a big lead on Georgetown. They came back. It was in New Jersey. I think there was like 2 minutes in the game, we had like a 10-point lead. Kind of
Mhm.
blew it, went into overtime. They had Roy Hibbert and they had Jeff Green, so they had a pretty good team. And
You're guarding Roy?
I was guarding Roy. I played with Roy, the big dog. I was
Yeah,
guarding
yeah,
the big dog. But Roy wasn't. He was good at Georgetown, but he wasn't.
He wasn't Roy till he got the
He
NBA.
wasn't
Yeah.
what the 2-time,
Yeah.
All NBA player he
For sure.
was, All-Star. When I played with Roy in the Pacers, he was one of the best bigs in the league.
Dominated.
But yeah, we lost to them. That was really tough, and we used that loss to fuel us more
To
than
spark
probably
into
any
that
other
next year.
loss.
Yeah.
So,
Was it? What would you say that happened that game? Just
being really close and
Yeah.
then kind of letting it slip away was a
Mhm.
huge deal for us, and not making the Final Four.
yeah.
And we felt like
Who ended up winning it that year?
I think it might have been, if I think back,
What year was that?
Florida. It would have been 2000.
They repeated.
Yep.
Yes. And you was going to go to Florida.
6-7.
How crazy is that?
But
they were
had
nice.
They had
Al Horford.
Corey
Joakim.
Brewer, Joakim Noah. They had some
Yeah.
other players.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they had a squad.
They had a squad.
Yep.
My goodness. So y'all lose to Georgetown. Y'all have all the expectation in the world. You come back going into the summer and y'all steamroll everybody. Steamroll everybody. And then you get to Kansas.
Yeah.
Talk about the mindset, or just in that situation, you're like, okay, we just got to do something. Like what was where were you at in that moment?
Things were going well for us. We got off to we got into the hole pretty big. But
Huge hole.
you got to give Kansas credit. They came out and they came out pretty
Punching
hot.
enough, yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were on their game. But we actually clawed back and we had a chance to take the lead. DG missed the top of the key.
Oh yeah.
3. And by that point, we were just so gassed
Yeah.
from trying to make a run.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a very difficult loss, especially because, Coach Williams coming from Kansas. There's a lot of emotions there. Kansas fans were, man, they were really after Coach, and so we wanted to go
Y'all
out.
wanted it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just came out flat, and
Mm-hmm.
they handed it to us. But that was a tough loss.
Yeah.
That was a really tough loss.
For sure. I mean, also I want to get back to, and we'll go back to that, but talk about, you're undefeated in Cameron.
Oh yeah.
How the hell did you do that? Because I think I got one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got one. I'm like, I think I did a good damn job, because a lot of guys, they don't have any.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about going in there and just dominating. I mean, of course, you had some guys with you, but
Well, yeah, Ty Lawson took over one game and,
Yeah.
got us a dub. But yeah, it feels pretty good, I'll be honest with you.
Thanks.
And I also like to think about it sometimes is, there's a class at Duke that they never won a home game against us. And so, they'll never know what it feels like to beat UNC on their home court. I always like to think about that. I get a little joy out of it. But
yeah. I love it.
no, it feels, I love beating them. I mean, also I love beating them and coming back and partying with my classmates.
100%.
And it's a great feeling.
Let me ask you this. Who don't you like more, Duke or State?
I dislike State more.
I hate State.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no question.
Okay, I think that's a consensus.
Well, I think you got to respect Duke. They've had a lot of accomplishments, and
I think the same thing.
I feel like sometimes NC State feels like they're in the same category as us, and Duke. It's not.
I don't think they're
You got to
close.
earn that. Yeah, absolutely. And they've had some wins lately, but let's get a few more NCAA wins.
That's
and
what
make them count.
and that is my problem. Like,
Yeah.
when it counts, you can beat us in a regular season. That's fine. You get us here and there. Did you lose the State when you were here?
I think once, but pure
domination.
State didn't. State
Yeah.
wasn't much
That
of a
good.
threat.
Yeah.
So.
I love it, man. It's crazy. I can't stand State. That is they have the most irrational confidence in the world. They're never that good. They're okay, but that's another conversation. But so going back to Kansas, that losing that game, as you know, we lost in the national championship. Y'all lost. It was the Final Four.
Yeah,
Y'all would have
semis.
played Memphis.
Yeah.
But talk about that summer. Talk about that summer for you guys and the mindset and the will to wanting to get back there and finish the job.
Man, you make it sound like the summers were just like dialed in.
Hey, listen.
Hey, it was a tough loss.
Yeah,
we're still college kids.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
right.
Yeah, that was a very tough loss.
Mm.
But also, I think that it's important to one thing we did do is when we got back to the Final Four, we didn't approach it the same way we did the year prior. And so just getting to the Final Four was great, but we knew once we got to the Final Four, we still had more work. And I think losing to Kansas kept us motivated in that way.
Really?
And helped us get a national championship. But, yeah, absolutely. And obviously the Kansas loss stung and did motivate us to work harder in the summer. So we use that. But, yeah.
What's funny, you saying the way y'all approached the Final Four, would you say the first time y'all were a little bit enjoying it too much or what? Because you know they do like the festivities. And
it is a little
before.
Exhausting to go to the Final Four because they have a lot of different things. You have one practice at a high school, and then you have the public practice you have to go to.
Then you got media.
Yeah, and all that stuff can really be a little bit of exhausting. But we handled a little bit better, but also we're a little more motivated and a little more
understood.
Hey, we still got some work to do. Let's not get too happy.
Understood. I mean, the rest is that your senior year, you destroy everybody on the road. I mean, on the way to a national championship. I mean, what was the closest game about? 10 points, LSU? Something like that?
Yeah, LSU played us pretty tight. It was like the second game. They had Marcus Thornton, who's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, that was probably y'all closest game. And, I mean, we got to address it. When you break the scoring record, talk about that. What was that feeling for you and your family?
Yeah, it was just real cool, especially for all the players that have been here. And I remember Phil Ford being there that night. He's one of my favorite Tar Heels of all time. Him coming out there supporting me. Yeah, it was a big moment. You know, if you break a scoring record, you also have to be a little bit of, you know, a ball hog. You have to be a little selfish. So I understand I shot a lot, guys.
Yeah.
But let's not get it twisted though, Theo. I mean, nowadays you have analytics and you have the shot charts to tell you where you should shoot, and they really influence young kids to shoot a lot of threes. But I did my work inside, and that's always been my message is like, you know, I played through contact. I was a low post player. Majority of my points came off of 2 points, but also I made a majority of my free throws a lot too. And I always try to pass that along as like, you know, make sure that you master the basics as well. Like, hey, it's good if you can develop a 3-point shot, develop it and work on it and get pretty good at it. But don't go from not being able to shoot a free throw or, you know, scoring inside to just like, hey, I got to shoot threes. Because, you know, there's a process you have to get to. And also there's a huge amount of trust you have to give the coaching staff. If you can't make a free throw and you're jacking up a three, like, I'm like, hey, man, something's not right.
That's a fact.
But, yeah, I did all my work inside. So the point actually came against Evansville, and it was like, you know, my right-hand jump hook, which is, you know, everyone knows I'm going to my right.
You get there.
And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then you dunked on the, what was it, 7-7 dude?
Kenny Jordan.
Yeah.
Asheville.
That was crazy. Play the clip. That was unbelievable. But I remember the year y'all won it, and I don't think I ever told you this story. I actually came to the game here. Y'all played, it was North Carolina Central. It was just a regular game, and I came to see y'all guys play, and y'all were flying up the court. I mean, just unbelievable team. Dion was a sleeper on y'all's team.
Oh, yeah.
People don't give him enough credit for the amount of work he put in. You two on the front court was monsters.
Yeah, he was an X factor. We also had Tyler Zeller, who was a freshman, but he got injured early. But when he first started the year, he was going to be big time for us that year. But Dion was underrated, and you talked about our speed. We had Ty Lawson, who's probably one of the fastest players to ever play at Carolina, if not the fastest.
For sure.
And so that really helped.
Well, T-Hands, we got to ask you an important question before we get to the league talk. Y'all beating 05? Y'all the best championship team? We're third. I said we're third.
Hey, man, you gave that up real quick.
No, we're third.
I think you guys might give 05 a run. I don't think neither of you guys are touching us. So to be honest
with you. Damn. Neither one touching y'all. I'm just with you. I'm going to go and put it like this. We're competing. Do I think we get over the hump? Depends on Justin. Because Justin was our X factor in making shots. Mm-hmm. If he's off, we don't got no damn chance. But y'all had a squad. Y'all were deep.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that Tyler barely played. He played, but he was
hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you were playing damn near all the minutes, and you going to the line, you getting all the calls. We go through that shit all the time.
We had Ed Davis too, which is a pretty good backup.
I know.
Yeah.
Y'all had, and then Danny and Wayne snipers.
Mm-hmm.
05's competing for sure. They had some dogs, T-Hands.
They did. They did. I'm not taking anything away from them. We got a lot of firepower.
Yeah, y'all definitely had a whole lot of firepower. Y'all did.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I wish we could turn back the clock and just throw the ball up so we could see. That would be amazing, man. Well, I think that'd be if we did that at the Smith Center, it'd be sold out so everybody could see. That'd be amazing. What up, everybody? This your boy Theo Pinson here. And shout out to Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports game out there.
Head over to prizepicks.com or the app. It's super easy to sign up. You pick between 2 to 6 players. You select either more or less than the stat projections.
Listen, Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports game that has injury insurance.
With Prize Picks injury insurance, if one of your players get injured, your entry still stays in play.
Prize Picks takes less than 60 seconds to make your entries, but also you can make 25 times your money.
Prize Picks will match up to your first $100 deposit using promo code RACE. That means if you spend $20, they'll match $20. If you spend $100, they'll match $100.
Go to prizepicks.com/race. Use code RACE for the first deposit match up to $100. But T-Hands, senior year, you go out with a chip. You can't go out no better than what you did. Leading scorer in North Carolina history. It's time to go to the next level. What is how many workouts did you do after going into the draft?
I did a good amount. Coming out after the draft, or after my senior year, getting ready for the draft, I was projected anywhere from mid first round all the way to 20th, but I could sneak into the lottery, which I ended up doing.
Did you ever think about leaving early?
Yeah. After my freshman year, I thought about it.
Really?
Yeah. Thought about it and decided to come back to school after talking with my family. Yeah, I had a good amount of workouts, but I didn't do what a lot of people did. I didn't go from team to team to team.
Mm-hmm.
I was in college for 4 years.
You've seen me play.
Hopefully they've had a good amount of film and they kind of have a basic understanding of who I am.
Yeah.
I don't think an hour workout's going to, move the needle much for me.
Yeah.
But I did have some good workouts. We had a lot of interest from Chicago, Salt, the Jazz. And then I worked out for Indiana, went really well. And there was a chance that I did 2 workouts for New Jersey the day before the draft too. And they went with Terrence Williams out of Louisville at number 11 over me, which I thought there was a chance I was going to go to, but I went 13th to Indiana. Coach Williams actually called it. My agent told me, I don't think it's going to be Indiana, but Coach Williams was like, I think it's Indiana. And sure enough, Coach Williams was right. And so,
Coach Williams knows. Trust the man. Trust the man. What was your feeling like that on draft night? Were you nervous? Were you just like,
maybe a little bit. It was a good night.
Yeah.
I wasn't overly nervous. I was in the green room and, going off the projections, I was like, hey, I don't want to be here if things go sideways and I slip in the second.
Yeah.
Because
Facts.
they don't have no one else shows up. So the camera, they got to put the camera
They got to
on
put
you.
the camera on you.
And, you're sitting there like, yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
But luckily I went to 13th to Indiana.
Yeah. Did you, was Indiana your best workout?
My best workout. So Indiana, they brought me and Gerald Henderson in together.
Oh my
And,
God. Drop the mic.
and so, it was, I thought looking back, I thought it was kind of a funny move.
Yeah.
And especially knowing Larry Bird now, I guarantee, I think he pulled something
He
to
did it
kind
on
of see
purpose.
that.
Yeah,
But that was a fun workout. And I'm not sure it was my best. It was one of my better workouts.
Yeah.
But New Jersey, for me, I had a pretty good workout with New Jersey.
So you, in your head, you're like, I'm going to New Jersey.
I felt like there was a chance.
Got you. All right, Tiaz, you get to the league, man. NBA was always a dream, clearly.
Yeah, it was a huge dream.
So you get there, 13th pick in the draft. I mean, that's lotto. Got to the bag. I'm gonna put that out there. Get to the bag, going to Indiana, blue collar basketball. And what was your welcome to NBA moment when you get there? Would you say the transition to high school to college was more difficult, or college to NBA?
College to NBA.
That's a jump.
It is a big jump, but for me, the amount of plays that there are in the NBA, I don't think college, high school, you have to know more in the NBA. You have to know more about the game.
Yeah.
And so, learning plays and new systems, very difficult. And being able to learn those on the fly too. In college, you're running a play that you've worked on in practice. In the NBA, you might go to a huddle and like, hey, we're doing this. We're going to get the ball right here. And you got to go out and do that. And I don't see a lot of college kids or coaches doing that. But that was difficult. But also, I was hurt my rookie year. And so it was a very difficult year for me. I started off with a stress fracture in my shin. So I set out. And then I had a concussion middle of the year that actually took me a long time, and I ended up sitting out the rest of the year because of that. So
Man.
that was a tough one.
So throughout that whole time of being out, what was the biggest thing you learned about yourself and the game of basketball? Did it slow down for you? Would you say it helped you slow the game down and study the game more? Or
I had to get away from the game
Had to get
because
away?
having a concussion, I was still trying to be engaged, and it was counterproductive to
Got
getting
you.
healthy.
Yeah.
So I actually got away from the game and went home to kind of recover and get healthy. And being away from the game got me, in a way, kind of made me value the game more
Understood.
and miss a little bit. But also, there's more to life than just basketball. And so I knew that having that injury, eventually basketball will stop. So, it makes you prioritize things in life too. And so I came from it from that perspective. But it also made me more hungry. And so I felt like I had my best year, my second year in the NBA. We got off to a pretty good start. My second year actually was Paul George's rookie year.
Okay.
And so he was with the Pacers. Roy Hibbert was kind of breaking out, played with Danny Granger, who was an all-star.
David West was there?
David West came my third year.
Third year.
And
Okay.
so we went to the playoffs, and it was D Rose's MVP year. It was Joe Kim.
Ran into a problem.
Hey, listen, people, D Rose in his MVP year, I always tell people like LeBron, you got to see LeBron play. LeBron was probably at his peak then, athletically, but D Rose was explosive and could do everything. He was a closer, man. He was tough. He was a problem. We went and it was kind of the start of
The Pacers.
yeah, the Pacers
Going it's
in
ascending.
that era.
Let me ask you this. I was having a debate with somebody the other day. Was Derrick Rose the best player in the world that year?
LeBron was the best player in the world that year.
Okay. Understood.
Derrick Rose was like a close second. I mean, after LeBron, I would say Derrick Rose, and that's not a knock on Derrick Rose. It's also, do you like a Lambo or do you like a Ferrari?
Okay.
That's the way I look at it.
Got you.
To what?
2010 Kobe?
Let's see here.
That's championship Kobe.
They win it that year? No, we're talking 2011.
We're talking about 11 because that's when D Rose won MVP.
19. He was an issue, but he was, yeah. He was an issue.
Yeah.
He was still very impressive at that age.
Yeah. We were just, because my argument was, I'm like, Derek was killing Miami. He was killing everybody. Like, there was nothing anyone could do. And you just simply just said it. That was his MVP year. He was insane. I'm like, I would say for that year, he was the best player. I felt like he was the best player. I mean, of course, it's hard to say Bron wasn't, but I get the argument both ways, in my opinion.
To me, I hate this argument because Derrick Rose had a really good year.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as a basketball perspective,
He did
LeBron
so much.
changes the game in every aspect.
facet. Every
Passing,
facet. Yep.
you know, you take one thing away, like
Mhm.
limited scoring, he's just passing. He'll make the
Understood.
smart play. I don't
I
think
feel that
LeBron, to me, is one of the smartest players to ever play the game.
easily.
And he knows what teams are doing. He knows everybody's, favorite move.
Mhm.
And it's unbelievable. But yeah, to me, LeBron.
Well, was there a game in the league that it clicked for you? Because as you said, it kind of, the jump from college to the league kind of was tough.
Well, for me, I developed a mid-range jump shot.
Oh, yeah.
And which now is like, to think about is comical.
Yes.
But the pick and pop at the elbow, and I
That was
started
just-
making that
Yeah.
consistently, and got my confidence rolling. The
Because
short
Frank
corner.
was your coach.
Yep,
Vogel?
Frank Vogel.
Yep.
So we had Jim O'Brien to start the year.
Okay.
He got fired over Thanksgiving. Vogel
Damn.
came in.
It fired him on Thanksgiving. They don't
No,
give a-
it might have gotten fired. He got fired somewhere in the season. I'm not sure if it was on Thanksgiving, but give or take.
Yeah.
And Vogel came in, gave everybody some confidence.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed playing for Vogel. He was a great coach. But yeah, that mid-range game, and Vogel started playing me right away.
Mhm.
So, I got the starting spot, and really got my confidence rolling that second year.
It's big time. So y'all lose to Chicago year 2, making the playoffs. Year 3, David West comes in.
Yep.
Y'all are automatically contenders at that point. You got Paul George going on year 3.
Yep.
You're going on year 3. You got Danny Granger, who's been in the league.
Paul George year 2.
Paul George year 2.
Yep.
He took off.
Yeah, that's the year he had a breakout year.
He had the breakout year.
Yeah.
On year 2, Danny Granger's already in the league. Was he an all-star? Which year was he an all-star?
So I think the year before I got there, he was an all-star.
Okay.
But he had some injuries. He was starting to get injured around this time.
Got you.
And
Okay.
so I can't remember. I think George Hill started coming in
Yeah.
around this time for the team. He was a heck of a defender,
And
really
then Roy
good.
Hibbert flipped the switch.
Yeah, Roy to me was a game changer.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. Roy took a lot of criticism, but there was no better shot blocker in the NBA at the time. And I saw Roy give a lot of people work.
Mm-hmm.
He could pass the ball. He could score inside. He did everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also a really good teammate. But those 2 years, I thought Roy was, if not the best center in the league, arguably one of the best. He was big.
Got you. I mean, I think people also, there's a difference between blocking shots. Yes, that is a huge thing for defensive-wise. But altering is just as important.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can block a shot, you block it out of bounds, shit, they still get the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
You alter it, you get the rebound, you on to the races. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
So I think that's one thing Roy was really good at. Just his presence down there, you're going to think about it.
Yeah, when you think about like going straight up, meeting a defender at the
Mhm.
rim, I think about Roy. He kind of
Yeah.
mastered that.
Yeah, for
Especially with his frame, changed everybody.
For sure. Go ahead and talk about y'all had a dogfight with Miami.
Oh yeah,
Dogfight. Talk about how much fun playoff basketball was at that time.
playoff basketball is unbelievable, especially the atmospheres at home and away. Unbelievable. We had a good battle with Miami that year. My third year. Yep.
Was it second round or first round?
I think we. Who did we get the first round? Yeah, it might have been
Washington?
the second.
Yeah, I think y'all played Washington first or something.
No, that was Toronto.
Oh yeah.
I think it might have been the Knicks.
Melo.
Yeah, we knocked them out pretty easily. And then we went to Miami. But Miami was a dogfight. They had a great team.
Yeah, that's the year they won it.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. That's when Bron was the best player in the world for a long time after that. I mean, he took off straight downhill.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that, because I hear about this all the time, Indiana is one of the hardest places to play in the playoffs. Would you say that?
When I played for him, yeah, when we got to the playoffs. But, my rookie year, we actually were one of the worst teams in attendance.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't have a good squad. There were some disappointing years. And it's just like, hey, it wasn't like we had the best perception. There were some tough times in Indiana. Also, you have to realize, like, they had a lot of players get in trouble before I showed up there. And so they were kind of going through a change, not just from personnel, but also an image. They had to kind of clean some things up. So it took a while to get it to where it was. And so during the playoffs when we were good, Indiana's a tough place to play.
I mean, probably that was more old school when Reggie and them was there. But I mean, from what I've seen, would you say, because did you go back, you were back with Indiana your fourth year?
Yep.
Third year was the best chance of y'all winning it?
No, fourth year.
Fourth year?
Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals with Miami. Yeah, we took a lead. I think we were up.
Thick.
So that was the year where Frank subbed me in at Miami.
Uh-huh.
I think we started off with I think we might have won game 1. I'm not sure, but LeBron got a layup with like a second or two left in the game.
Yes.
And Vogel took a lot of heat. He subbed me for Roy. And so from the media's perspective, everybody surrounding him, why would you take Roy out at the rim? But he was thinking more of switching on the perimeter.
Because of Bosch.
Yeah. Or just switching in general. Roy, he's not as quick laterally, but his ability to change shots at the rim.
Yeah.
And so I went on the ball, and LeBron got the layup to win the game. But we took him to game 7, and actually my younger brother was on the team that time too.
Really?
So my younger brother Ben made a year in the league, so it was really cool to play with him.
That's tough. Yeah,
it was super exciting. But that year, we went to game 7 in Miami, and I remember in shoot-around the day of the game, David West oddly sprained his ankle, like walking off the court or just taking a normal step. And I was like, oh boy. And because I'm backing David up, I was like, man, my role might get drastically changed for tonight.
Yeah.
But I will say this, the start of that game was over. That game was over within the first 7-8 minutes. I remember looking at my brother, I was like, man, it's hard to believe somebody's ever better than LeBron. The way he's playing tonight, like we couldn't stop him. We double him. He finds open man. He was running the court. He was locked in that game.
He wasn't losing that night.
No, he wasn't losing. And D Wade did his part. Bosch was those guys were really, really good, but they were on their game that night, and they smacked us. We didn't really have a chance the way LeBron was playing.
Was there a game that you say that y'all let slip away that you could have won y'all that series?
Man, it's probably where LeBron got that layup.
Yeah.
Last 2 seconds.
It was just a tough angle. It's a tough angle to take.
Yeah,
on that one.
it is really. But still in a game on the road in the NBA for the playoffs is
That's hard.
Like that's a game changer.
Game 7s are fun, though.
Oh yeah, there's nothing
Game
like
7s are fun. Didn't play, but I was there. But it was Game 7s are fun. So year 4 is done. Why did they change up the team? Was it money?
Let me see here. So they were spending some money, but my role had pretty much diminished. David West was playing a lot, so I was getting inconsistent minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I wanted to be a bigger part of a team as well. And so
Understood that.
I was pushing from that angle. Originally, they picked up my option, but when they re-signed David West and gave him a lot of money, then we had talked about if they get David West, then they're going to let me go somewhere else, and we had already figured that out. They did it. Larry Bird was away from the program at that point. I think he's dealing with some health stuff, but then that's when I signed with Toronto, 2-year deal with Toronto, and went and played there.
That's what's up. Talk about the Toronto fan base. Big Toronto guy right here, man. The Toronto fan base, it gets rowdy over there.
Toronto is the most underrated NBA city out there. I tell people, man, Toronto's the best city I've ever lived in.
Really?
It's amazing. Their fans are unbelievable. Even when they suck, they sell out. They've had some tough years there.
Yeah,
I mean,
they have.
They really have.
And they still come. They still
and,
come to the game.
I was laughing because when they got Kawhi, I was like, they win this damn thing. They're going to do the unthinkable. I never it's just like a general thought that Toronto may never win a championship because nobody wants to go back and forth through customs.
Yeah,
it's kind of a headache. And they don't ever get the credit they deserve because they're in Canada. And, people associate the NBA with the U.S. and they don't really think of Canada. And Toronto's at time overlooked, but when they won it, I mean, their fans are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pulling for them when they won it because they have an amazing fan base, great people, great city. So yeah, it's the most underrated NBA city out there. Not even
For
close.
sure. Y'all, and you said you played 2 years, y'all made the playoffs both years?
Yeah, both years. But we got swept one year, so that was
not
sure how I
the
take
first
that.
year.
Second year we got swept. The first year we went to that's when Kyle Lowry had a breakout. I mean, that's when he really became big. And we lost to Brooklyn. They had KG, Paul Pierce. They had a pretty good. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Another game 7. Yep.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. So you go 2 years in Toronto, get swept the second year. That's tough. I mean,
We got swept by the Wizards. They had John Wall, Gortat, Nene.
Yeah.
They had the other kid.
Brad wasn't there yet, was he? No.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, Brad was there.
Oh, yeah. They had a squad. I actually thought Washington could compete and maybe win it.
Yeah.
But they had they didn't go on and do much after they beat us.
Yeah. I mean, John said they definitely could have beat Bron and them. Speaking of John, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell happened? Did you tell him not to pull his ass? Did you tell him you don't talk to recruits or something? What?
Hey, it'd be nice if anybody ever remembers John coming on campus.
Yeah.
None of my team. There's like, I've called all my teammates as like, listen, hey, when did John Wall come to campus? When did he take a visit? And everyone's like, I don't really remember. I'm like, well, that's kind of odd because I don't ever remember. I'm trying to figure out when. I'm trying to put the pieces together. And I was like, sure enough, I realized, man, this didn't happen.
Yeah.
I have no clue. And I'm not mad at John Wall.
No, hey, listen.
I got a lot of, hell of a player. Obviously, his NBA career, done a lot of big things, but that did not happen.
Yeah. Okay, clear the air. T. Hansen said it did not happen. And he asked for multiple teammates. They don't remember.
Hey, tell me this. If you play for Coach Williams and you told a recruit that he brought in, hey, I don't talk to recruits. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
It's game over.
Hey, listen. In all honesty, when I heard that, I said Coach Williams must have ran his ass to death if he said some shit like that. I don't know what happened, but if you did, He wouldn't have been the leading scorer that year because he would have still been running.
Oh, I would have had a lot of miles.
Yes, a lot of
I could have been on the
miles.
track team.
Literally. So I'm glad we cleared the air on that. So we did, after your second year in Toronto, you go to China.
No, I went to Charlotte.
No, you did go to Charlotte. I'm tripping. You said you did 7 or 8, 7 years.
So
You're
4 to
4 to, okay. There you go. Math. Did I go to class? I graduated. So you went to Charlotte. That was your last stop. How was your time experience in Charlotte?
I love Charlotte.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a good squad. Kemba Walker was killing. Al Jefferson, he was doing his thing.
Al went crazy that year.
Man, Big Al, there ain't nobody that had a better right-hand hook than Big Al. Nobody was more right-handed than Al Jefferson, and nobody could stop him. When he's on his game, you knew it was coming, and you couldn't stop him. He was unbelievable. I played with Marvin, who's a good friend of mine.
Yep.
We used to come back to Chapel Hill and train a lot.
For sure.
So I knew him from that, and we had a good team. I really enjoyed playing for Steve Clifford.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great coach. And,
made the playoffs again.
Oh, yeah.
All year, every year.
Every year except for my first year.
Rookie year. Of course, y'all didn't have a good – that's a good resume, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great resume. I mean, to be involved in playoff basketball, but damn, you ran into Miami again. That's just – you probably have nightmares about Miami. Not a bad place to have a playoff game, though, I'll tell you that. Good weather.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, Kemba took off.
Oh, yeah. Kemba was doing his thing. He'd been good before I got there. But,
but that was the first time in the playoffs for him.
Yeah. Kemba's one of the best players I've played with. Yeah. He actually – he's a hard worker too. So I had a lot of respect for Kemba.
Mm-hmm. What would you say, going back to Indiana for a second, because you said you saw Kyle take his jump. What would you say the jump Paul George made in Indiana? Was it more of like the keys getting handed to him, or did it just click for him?
It's just a matter of time. Paul George is so talented.
You knew.
Hey, everybody knew.
Mm-hmm.
If you played with PG, I mean, PG, he's a lockdown defender. He had size. He's a really good passer, extremely athletic. You just knew it was a matter of time before you put the pieces together. And also, it was a matter of time. He got enough playing time and got used to it. He was going to take off. He was that talented to me.
Mm-hmm. And you could say it from day one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. Well, T-Hans, then you head on to China. You didn't go initially to China after your last year did you go after your last year in Charlotte?
Yeah.
Like the next year?
No, I didn't. Actually, I tried to make a comeback to the NBA. I stayed around thinking maybe someone might get hurt in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so I passed up on China. And then I played in the D League for a year, which the D League was a grind.
Yeah.
And it was starting to develop. It's not – the D League today is actually a pretty good product. And I think a lot of teams have gotten more involved, and they send a lot of younger players down there, which is good. But, I went to the D League, did my thing. I played really well, thought there's a chance I might get called up, never did. And then the next year, that's when I went to China.
Got you. Mm-hmm. How was that experience for you?
China is the most physical league in the world.
Really?
It's not even close. And it's like the NBA in the 80s. Yeah, I mean, you never know. The refs are pretty inconsistent, but you are going to get hammered in China. Like, as far as like, it's going to be a physical, tough game. And you want to talk about a recovery process or load management. They don't even that is not even in the realm of possibility. When I tell you, we're going to go 2-a-days, it's going to be like your body's going to take a hit. I'm still recovering from China.
Hey, I did not know that. That's the first time I've heard that.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, T-Hans, you have had one hell of a career, my guy. One hell of a career, and you have done big time things. Give your podcast a shout out. Yeah.
So I do my podcast, Sleep Walk Worldwide. You guys check it out. We cover everything and anything. And also, if you guys send us questions, we'll answer it. So check us out.
Hey, listen, at fellow Tar Heel, you get a shout out on here. You can do whatever hell you want. But T-Hans, we got a couple questions before we leave here. Luka or Shea, deeper bag, go.
Do what?
Luka or Shea, deeper bag.
I don't know what you mean.
Who's better? Not better. Who had big of offensive package?
Luka.
Well, that was easy. Didn't take him long at all. Better Braun. What we say? What years we do?
2012 Heat Braun or 2018 when he almost beat the Warriors in Game 1?
2012.
He played it. Oh, that was cheating. That was the easy question for you.
That is a tough one though, because I think that year weren't a lot of guys hurt for Cleveland.
Yes, he was insane.
But that was like when LeBron became a good 3-point shooter in 2018.
He was doing everything. He almost won MVP of the finals and didn't even
it's
win
amazing
it.
how good he's been for so long.
It's nuts. It is nuts. But T-Hans, once again, I appreciate you coming on. It's been an honor. There's what you've done for the University of North Carolina has been amazing. And I can't thank you enough for being on with me, my guy.
I appreciate it, Theo. And also I want to say, me and Theo used to have some legendary pickup games when I used to come back here in the summer. And Theo is a great shit talker. And I always enjoyed talking shit to Theo when we played pickup.
Oh my
God.
God.
It was a great time. I could tell when I kind of got in his head, but also he never backed down. I always enjoyed playing against him. So
For sure.
I love coming on the podcast. Thank you for having me.
For sure. Oh, I do. There's one thing T-Hans told me one time. We was playing pickup, and I remember I couldn't shoot worth shit. And T-Hans he's like, he can't shoot. Let him shoot that shit. I'm about to prove him wrong. Brick. I was bricking like hell that day. But he made me better. He made me want to get better at it.
Sometimes you leave a guy extremely open. You don't even guard him.
Yeah.
I used to tell everybody, just leave him open.
Yeah.
And mentally, it messes you up. It makes you think more than anything. 100%. And I always say, hey, some guys shoot better contested than they do wide
100%.
Open because they think about it.
100%. I firmly believe that for sure. But T-Hans, I appreciate everything, brother. I appreciate you coming on. It's been a blast. And also, shout out Prize Picks. We need a bigger bag.
Yeah, no problem.